can get the Americans back on track. Still a gamble, and still the jury's out, because physically playing 4 matches in a row is no great issue. Of course it isn't, but there is a lot of mental pressure will go into playing 4 games in a row, and you wonder how Marshall Kent will stand up to that as we go along. And also, just to throw another question into the mix as well, Cass, Martin Larsen, he struggled badly in doubles play. We saw Stuart Williams drag himself out of his slump. Can Martin do something similar here?
A player of Martin's caliber will certainly be able to drag himself back and get into this match, I'm sure. As you said, the lane is freshly redressed. Having said that, 4 bowlers have just bowled 3 or 4 balls each in practice, so it's hardly going to be a redressed lane. It's all going to be corrupted left and right side. So any advantage off of a freshly dressed lane just may not be there. We might see the guys changing their angles of attack very early in the game.
And changing their balls once in a while as well, because we've seen plenty of that going on. They all bring an array of balls with them to Barnsley. About 8 each. 1 or 2 players, maybe a couple more, but lots of choice. And if one ball isn't working for you, we've seen it plenty of times already, you dump it, go for something different.
Like a tennis umpire, they call for new balls, please. And we're just about ready to start.
Well, points have tended to come in bunches. We've seen the Americans pick up 3 in a row. Stuart Williams put paid to that little streak. Can the Europeans, in the shape of the 2 Swedes here, maintain European initiative, or will the Americans get back in the driving seat? This doubles match, like all the doubles matches, will be alternate bowls, of course. Martin's gone really wide with that and left himself the sleeper.
Yeah, kind of like a fishing shot. He's just been sniffing around to see what's gone out there. But he's had 4 or 5 practice shots at the 1-3 pocket, and he's basically missed it on the first ball that counts. So it's up to Jesper to make a spare. It's the 2 and the 8-pin sleeper. That should hook back nicely, and does. So they take 18 pins for the first frame. And the only good thing about it is that that's put Svensson back on the lead ball next frame.
How's your Swedish, by the way, Cass? Yeah, I thought
Sorry.
so.
About as good as yours.
Thank goodness they speak better English than both of us. Anyway, here's EJ Tackett. He has not found the pocket and is lucky to get away with 9.
Yeah, Marshall Kent to step up and spare the single pin. There's just so much rotation on that ball. Really is high revs.
Kent takes out the single pin.
Shot. Yay. Just gonna go 1 more. Yeah, I like that. I thought it was pretty good. It just picked up.
One should be good.
Yeah. I can actually make a 1 with the earth
For the first time in like a
that's
decade.
like 12.
So back to Martin Larsen, who was all at sea at his first frame, and he's made a big adjustment and has not managed a pocket hit at all. Again, he's a little bit fortunate to leave 9 standing, so Martin has not got the radar tuned here.
Yeah, big overreaction in the back end. Doesn't break too much up, but leaves a single pin standing for Svensson to spare.
It was almost a mirror image of the effort that EJ Tackett put in. He too was much too flush on the head pin and just left the 1 pin. So this is keeping Svensson, the potential danger man for Europe, very much out of the picture, just bowling at the odd pin here and there, and the Americans will be very happy with that.
Absolutely, yeah. I think I made a little mistake earlier saying that Svensson would be up shooting first ball strike, but he's just jumping the gun a bit there. It will very much be up to Larsen to get the strike next time round.
So we await the first strike of this doubles match. Is it going to come here with E.J. Tackett, who was talking about making an adjustment, and he obviously has.
Shot. Thanks. I moved one. Yeah.
Well, that's what he's saying, Cass. He said he was talking about moving one over, one board, and that's all it's needed.
Yeah, well, that's only about 2.5 centimetres, one board. So it's not the greatest adjustment, but it makes a big difference down the far end of the lane, 60 feet away, when the ball's going into the pocket.
Now, Martin here needs to split the difference. Like that.
Come with the man, come with the hour, yeah. Great looking shot from Martin Larsen. He's just moved slightly with his feet to the left. He's opened the lane up a little bit more, but he's hit that down lane marker. And it goes into the 1-3 pocket like a railway train.
Stenkvar liksom på mycket svängar. Jag bara försöker att komma ner mjukare och så rulla lite mer.
Oh my goodness, now he lost it completely there, Marshall Kent. I think that was his first time bowling at all 10 pins as well.
Well, he only hit 6 of them, unfortunately, and he's left the 2, 4, 8, 10, which we saw spared earlier. It's almost, I won't say it's an impossible split because we saw it picked up, but just gone so wide, isn't it? Just makes the head pin, doesn't break anything up. No drive with the ball.
Well, to say there is a high degree of difficulty of nailing this spare would be an understatement. It has to be clipped very finely on the outside of the lead pin. Send that over to the 10. And that's what he tried to do. But even if he'd taken the 10, he'd have left 2 standing. So it's a low pin count as well there.
Yes, pretty unfortunate frame, that one.
That was crazy. I almost got 2. Huh?
I'll try not to suck.
Yeah. Shoot.
Giving it a try, but overhooked. Nearly, as he says, nearly got 2, but unfortunately, big open frame.
And now, let's see what young Jesper Svensson can do. You always want to have a good response when your opponent has left an open frame, and he has left 9 down with 1 standing.
Yes, he'll be slightly embarrassed that he's left the 5 pin standing on its own, but there wasn't too much reaction in the back end. Just sailed a bit wide. He's only just clipped the head pin, as you can see, and there's possibly 3 or 4 pins standing there, but gets away with just 1 left. Right in the middle of the lane, the number 5. Which Larsen should spare very easily.
Well, if there's a strike here from the Americans, we'll be dead level. That translated is, will you please get all 10 next time, Jesper? Thank you.
Something along those lines, yes.
Here's a man who wants all 10 right now. Especially after his shocker of a ball last time out. What adjustments is he got?
Yeah, baby.
Well, there we go.
There you
That
go.
was never in doubt, and we are dead level in this one.
That away.
Yeah, made the adjustment. Great looking shot. Did exactly what he wanted to do. Learned from the error of the last one. Didn't go quite so far wide.
More good.
Gives it away.
Much more.
Yeah.
Svensson with the shovel shot. Out on the left-hand side, looking for 10 and carrying 10. And that's got the crowd on their feet. Great looking shot from Jesper Svensson. Lots of pin action. Pins bouncing all over the place.
Well, that strike long overdue for the Swedish pair. And anything they do, the Americans have to match to maintain parity. So here is EJ doing just that.
Just for a moment, I thought that ball was going to start hooking too early and go high through the headband, but it held pocket all the way. Great rotation on it, and it held the pocket and just absolutely ripped the 1-3. And there it holds on the oil.
Thanks, man.
2 strikes in a row.
These two have worked as a partnership many times before. We'll come back to that as we see what Martin Larsen can do now. Nice pocket hit, takes all 10. Not in any doubt at all. Both teams really ramping it up when they need them.
Yes, all 3 of these right-handers are starting to open their shoulders up and get wider open angles for their shot. Svensson obviously can't, he's on the left-hand side, but all these right-handers, they're starting way left with their feet and throwing it way to the right. Really opening up the lane, creating a much larger angle for the pocket.
Now here comes Marshall Kent, who's working with EJ Tackett, of course, and their skipper Sean Rash stood alongside them. Oh, he's missed the head pin. Oh dear, the washout, and not for the first time Marshall has sent an errant one down, and that really is a bad one. It's a makeable spare, but anytime you miss the head pin, that really is time for some concern.
You can tell by the look on his face. Crikey, it's the 1-2-8 and the 10, but it is makeable. You've got to hit that head pin left-hand side, bounce it across. But no, we don't like to see that left, and I'm sure EJ doesn't either.
Oh, and he's missed it.
Well, he was throwing hard and fast and totally needed to redirect his radar there. Big open frame yet again.
At a very important point
6-1 twice.
The match. 6th frame.
Oh, crap.
Yeah, pretty unfortunate. There wasn't very much EJ could have done about that. It's twice that Marshall Kent has left 4 pins standing off a 6 count.
Not much talk going on there. I was going to say those two, along with Rash, were silver medalists in the 2014 Men's World Championship as a combo, so they know how to work well together. But here's the 2 Swedes looking to work well together, and off the back of an open frame from the Americans. Look what Jesper Svensson has done with it, and that has got this team fired right back up again, and the crowd as well.
Yeah, 3 strikes in a row. The crowd's going absolutely ballistic. Of course, that will give Martin Larsen confidence as well. As the lead draws away, look at the body language from Jesper Svensson.
Skulle ut bara.
Well, that's another one where he's out of the pocket. And the concern really for the Americans here is that Marshall Kent is looking a little bit weary, and he is up next, remember. That was the gamble. Play 4 in a row. The wheels are coming off here for him, and he's got to go up against Martin Larsen in singles competition to complete the session.
So the concept could...
there's another open frame, and that is that.
Well, if you don't spare the 3-6-10 and the game's all over.
But where is this man right now? I'm sure Sean Rash, if he could change his lineup, he would right now. He'd get him out of there.
I know what you're saying. Yeah, 4 games in a row, and the possibilities he could lose 3 of them, and the whole concept of putting Kent out could really backfire on Sean Rash, who's looking more than concerned on the right-hand side of the approach there.
Yeah, look who he's looking at right now. Are you okay? Yeah. Yeah, putting a brave face on it, but this is another point that's going west. And they can just stay clean and jog to the finish line here, the Swedes.
Yeah, a bit of bounce in Martin Larsen's footsteps there as he comes off. He's more than happy that a spare can be made. Just a fraction higher, that 4-pin wobbles, but it doesn't go.
But just look at what Marshall Kent has done recently. A 219 against Stuart Williams, and he's part of a really poor score here. He is out of form and seemingly spiraling downwards at the moment. Well, let's watch what he does in his next singles match. That's all they need, just take the pin, stay clean.
Yeah, going back to Kent, he's had 2 really poor shots. Both took 6 pins out and left splits. EJ Tackett had no chance of making the spares. And as you said, Nick, the pressure's very much back on him now. He's the lead man, looking to make strikes, which he's not making. And he's got another singles match coming up right after this.
Boy, Marshall Kent needed that in the worst possible way.
Yeah, it was a big change of ball there that he tried and it worked. Low 5s from EJ, but it's not enough, I'm afraid. 2 more strikes will only give them 220.
And the conversation has dried up because there's nothing left to be said.
Except that's another fine mess you've left me in, partner.
Well, here's one man hoping he's not going to leave a mess for his partner, Larsen. Remember, he's up next as well, so he's got to stay in the pocket right there. Boom, says Martin Larsen. That's another point for Team Europe. They've really steadied the ship here after it looked like the Americans were running away with this session. It's funny, we're seeing a mirror image, aren't we, here, that the Americans got off to the fast start last night, and then the Europeans pulled them back, and the same's happening here.
Well, this is a big high for Martin Larsen, who'll be coming up next. And it's just unfortunate that the Americans are having a really tough time. EJ shoots 10 in the 9th frame. But yeah, it's all over. Another win for the European side.
Yeah, whatever happens here, they've already got enough points in the bank. And Svensson, when it doesn't matter, leaves the 7 in the corner, but the Swedes have teamed up to perfection here.
Yes, it was a very good game. Unfortunately, they didn't have too much opposition to worry about, but as I say, it's a big high for Martin Larsen, who's up next. Big 2:44 game from the Swedish duo.
But meanwhile, this is back-to-back low-scoring games for the Americans, and Marshall Kent's been involved in both of them. And this is where the focus is going to be in the singles match. How does he regroup and recover? Well, that wasn't a bad pocket hit. And he's still left one standing. Back-to-back matches where the Americans have failed to crack 220. That's a concern. Tackett with the final act of this one. It's another point in the bank for the Europeans. And it's Larsen who will lead the way to try and restore parity in the final singles match of the session against a man who seems to be really feeling the heat at the moment. Marshall Kent's game is right off the boil, and Sean Rash and indeed the rest of the Americans have got to just breathe some life back into him quickly, because momentum has switched again. And this man is the man that's feeling the heat right now. Back-to-back wins then for Europe. And that healthy American lead has been whittled away. They're still in front, but it'll be Martin Larsen coming at him next when he takes on Marshall Kent.